In today's economy, more people than ever are looking to buy and sell businesses. But how do you do it? Welcome to the Deal Board, presented by Transworld Business Advisors. Straight talk about real deals and real people. Listen to stories, interviews, and expert advice to help your business sale, merger, or acquisition process. Now, here are your business exit experts, Andy and JT.
All right, you've landed on the Deal Board here at Transworld Business Advisors. JT here with my co-host Andy Cagnetta.
Back better than ever.
Back better than ever. And here we're back and better than ever. Yeah.
For number 2.
Episode number 2 of the top 10 mistakes that you don't want to do to get the most value out of your business.
Yeah.
Once you've listed.
We went in the first time through 1 through 5.
Yes. Number 1 was get your books and records up to date and organized.
Right.
Number 2
was start keeping perfect books and records if you have not yet.
Yes. And if you haven't, start doing it today.
Right.
Number 3, keep your eye on the ball. Do not take your foot off the gas.
Yes. And number 4 was clean the bathroom. Clean your business. Stage your business.
Make it appear, a little curb appeal. Make sure you're concentrating on curb appeal. And number 5 was fix it or throw it out. If you got a piece of equipment that's not working, or it's not going to be included in the sale, or it's going to be included in the sale and it needs to be repaired to make it look correct, and it's got to be in good working condition, which is what the paperwork's going to say. Make sure you've got everything in good working order, or get it out of there.
Yeah.
Good. All right, so we're going to take 6 through 10 today.
Yes, we are.
Good. All right, so you want to take number 6?
Sure. Sell off old inventory and or get it to a workable level. So you definitely want to have a workable inventory. You don't want too much inventory. You don't want old inventory that's not moving. You basically want a lean and mean level of inventory. You don't want too little,
right?
Because then the buyer walks in and he
doesn't have enough. They're going to need more money left.
So you want a normal level of inventory, but if you have excess inventory, it can kill a deal. And we deal with this a lot with different kinds of businesses. I guess the most extreme the extreme example is a jewelry business.
Okay.
That's been in fact, I was talking to a jewelry business recently that we've been frequenting for a long time. The owner's getting older, and he was thinking about selling, and he's like, how much do you think it's worth? And I'm like, how much jewelry do you have in here? And he's like, millions. I mean, he's literally been collecting jewelry for,
Wow. Yeah.
And I know he doesn't make that kind of money for the multiple.
Right.
So
what's he going to wind up having to do?
He's going to have to sell it off.
Sell it off? Can he consign it?
He could consign it.
Okay. To the buyer, could buy it in dribs and drabs after the deal is done?
Yeah. It's hard. A good rule of thumb is to get rid of anything that hasn't sold in the last year or something like it. You want a reasonable amount of inventory, say, I don't know, a couple months worth maybe on some,
Well, it's interesting.
Depends on the turns and what kind of business
going to say. A lot of businesses have a certain inventory turn. I have to reorder 3 or 4 times a year, or once a year, or twice a year, whatever the case may be. So you don't want more than that turn is probably going to need to be.
It can affect the SBA loan, because the SBA likes inventory. They loan on inventory. I think 80% of the value they'll leverage. But if it's old and obsolete, it could cause problems. If there's if you tell people there's going to be, say, $300,000 worth of inventory, and they show up to the closing day and there's 100, that'll throw off the SBA loan.
Yep.
But it'll throw off the loan too.
You have to start all over. You don't want that.
And if you have excess inventory, I was at a marine business once upon a time, and of course, as a tax saving plan, they decided not to put the inventory on the books. They had millions of dollars worth of inventory, and you can't just dump it on your customer base, because if you dump it on your customer base, you can't sell to a buyer now all of a sudden,
right?
Because now all of a sudden sales are going to go down,
right?
So you're literally going to have to think outside the box of where to get rid of this inventory.
Yep.
eBay or
red tag sale, whatever,
overseas. I mean, liquidators. I mean.
Yeah, we had a retail clothing store every year that she would have excess inventory she would donate.
Great.
Ladies shelter, women's shelter, people in need. She got a tax write-off because of the donation amount for what she paid for it. So that worked out well. We had a liquor store that had $1 million in inventory, and the SBA said, nope, loan's too much. We had to cut it back to $700,000. This guy's got $300,000 worth of liquor that he needs to do something with that the buyer is not going to be able to take. And so fortunately, he had a wholesale license, and he had other liquor stores that he knew of that he could do some
horse trading.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
And so we got it down to the number that the SBA said.
Perfect.
Okay,
that's a perfect example.
Yeah. So you got to sell it off. You know, you want to make sure it's at a workable level. It's not more than you need. It's not less than they will need.
Yes.
Otherwise, that's going to impact your value. Good.
Yeah.
Number 7, take home the Monet.
Yeah. So we've seen this happen in several different businesses. I was telling you before we started, as an example, we had a bridal store for sale, and the first thing you saw was this majestic mirror that was
when you walked in the place.
When you walked in the place, and it was an antique mirror. And right at the closing, the seller said, "I'm taking that mirror home," and the buyer's like, "No, you're not. That's the whole vibe of the business." And he's like, "Well, that's my grandmother's mirror."
That's not a good time to bring that up, is it?
Yeah, you gotta walk around. You were saying this last episode, talking about it too. You have to walk around and you have to decide what's personal to you,
right,
and what really doesn't matter to the business,
right. Yeah. If it's not integral into the daily operation and it is personal, get it out of there. In fact, get it out of there before we even bring a buyer in.
Right.
Get it out of there. Don't even put it on the list as, oh, this is not included. Just get it out of there.
Yeah, I actually we had another where they were fighting over a pool Budweiser antique, lamp that was over the pool table.
Yep, I know him.
And they were fighting about this, and I got to hand it to the broker. He found one. He went out and found one and brought it to the closing table, because eventually the buyer got it to leave it for the seller, and the seller was bummed out about it, that he was losing his favorite lighting fixture. I don't know why. Yeah. And they brought it in, and but it's silly.
So did the broker give it to the seller?
Yeah.
Or he gave it to the buyer, and the buyer gave the seller one?
I think he gave it to the seller.
Okay. So he was replacing some of that.
Right. But, I've seen silly things like the first check on the wall signed by my grandfather. Right. I've seen antique cash registers. I've seen memorabilia on the wall.
You were talking about the Yankee stuff.
The Yankee stuff. I saw a signed Jimi Hendrix guitar on a recording studio once upon a time, and I looked at the guy and I said, "Is that real?" He's like, "Yeah, that's real." And I'm like, "That's probably worth more than this business. Can you take that home, please? Replace it with something else?"
Yeah, fantastic.
Yes.
Good advice. Yeah, take home the Monet. Take home the Monet. Good. Number 8, go for it.
Be a positive seller.
That should go without saying.
Well, it should go without saying. But listen, I've seen people that have been in business for 20, 30, 40 years, and they've been through it, and they've heard all the ideas, and they don't like employees. I actually heard one business owner called their employees paid enemies.
Oh, that's a label. I've never heard that label.
This is not something you talk about with a buyer. It is said that is hard work to buy a business. You don't need to bemoan.
Don't make it high. Don't make it harder.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to bemoan that to a buyer. A buyer understands what they're getting into, and maybe they don't, or maybe they'll have a more positive attitude.
Yeah. But as a seller, I think that there's you have to look at it this way. You're selling the business. If you were the buyer coming in, what would you want to hear? That's what you should be conveying. Right. We're not saying don't tell them what's true by no means, okay? And certainly don't leave out information that's critical. That would be disclosure. You have to disclose things that they need to know about. But I had a seller who we're going through the employees, and he starts talking about this employee and that employee, and then he says, "Well, I hired this guy, let's call him Rich, and Rich has been really good, but he was recommended by his brother, Joe." But Joe was an addict, and he was stealing from me. And I'm like, I'm looking at him like, what are you saying?
This is an unnecessary.
Why is this story coming up at all? Okay, so yeah, leave all that stuff out. Right. It's not necessary. It's not helpful. I've always tried to say to the sellers, listen, 2 things. Number 1, I'm going to give you a list of questions that most buyers are going to ask, and let's role play your answers. so we don't get surprised. Number one. Number two, ask yourself this question when you're about to speak. Is what I'm about to say going to help me or hurt me? And if what you're about to say is going to help you, say it. If you're not sure or the answer is it's going to hurt me, shut up. Don't say that. We don't need that information.
And of course, like you said, we have to have full disclosure and we have to make sure that they know of potential liabilities or things like that. But you don't have to make them up. It's like, we're good here in business until the next hurricane, like in 1920.
Yeah. The once in a lifetime storm is around the corner. I can tell you. I don't know if it's going to be good then.
So you don't need to do that.
All right. Number 9, get your business in the box. That's a great set of quotes. In the box.
We used to call it in the box back in the day. And, to us in the box is price and terms that work.
Okay.
And so if you have a business for sale these days, the good news is here in the United States, and some people might be listening overseas, we have a thing called the SBA loan program, and it's a great program, and buyers can get in for. And we just did an SBA program talking about how good it is. So if your business is priced right and has those financing terms, it should pencil, as we used to say.
Yes, right. Does the deal pencil? Yes.
Does the deal pencil? Is there enough money in the earnings to pay back the loan, and pay the owner a reasonable return on their investment?
And a salary. They got to be able to earn a livable wage.
Yes, and a livable wage. So your business needs to get to that pricing.
And I think we should do a whole episode on debt service coverage ratio and how banks arrive at that amount, that number. It's not really that complicated, but if you don't know what you hear, DSCR at 1.25, and as you're a buyer, you're like, what does that mean? I don't understand that. Some sellers don't know that either, so that's probably a good educational.
And if you're listening in this decade, in the 20s, here in we're probably still in a position where it is a seller's market, where buyers are aplenty. And if your business is sitting around for 60 to 90 days and you're not getting action,
time to make a move.
It's time to change the price.
We got to come down. Yeah.
And or offer terms that maybe you can't get because you didn't keep good books and records, and we could go back to the number one, the last episode. But you have to get your business to the point where it makes financial sense to buy it.
It's a really good point. And getting that, it's like a house, right? How many times do you see someone selling a property? It's a home, it's a commercial property. It's on the market for a certain period of time, no activity. That number is going to be, it's a price improvement, they like to call it, right? So we're going to get a little bit better on the price, And we have stats, Andy, that show what businesses sell for as a percentage of the original asking price. And do you recall, what's that range that we typically see?
It's way thinner than you think. It's about 15% is the difference between a business probably expiring, means it never sells.
Doesn't sell.
And a business selling, which means that most businesses that we sell fall within 15% of where they were last priced.
Yes.
So you have to be pretty close to the marketplace. And we are seeing this, and we have a whole episode on it. Maybe we'll do it again and talk more about the stats. But what we're seeing is people are so much more educated. You've been to conferences recently where they're teaching buyers how to buy businesses. They have the ability to go onto the portals and look to see what the multiples are and what businesses, and they can comparative price.
Yeah. And I think that's even more and more of the reason why, as a seller, you want to think about, how do I get that price right? You don't want to go to the market with a price that's too low and leave money on the table. That doesn't make sense for anybody. You don't want to go to the market with a price that's too high and you don't get buyers to call, or you don't get deals done. And that's one of the reasons years ago we instituted the broker opinion of value process, so that a seller can get a number that is defensible. A number that when we take it to the lender's going to go, okay, I see it. Bring me a qualified buyer and I'll do that deal.
And you should at least, in the box is usually in the SBA box as well.
That's right.
Like, get your business pre-qualified. And you'll know pretty quick if your business can't support the price you're asking.
And a good agent and broker working for you will take your business to some SBA lenders before they even bring it to market, so that they know, hey, we can get that one approved.
Right.
All right. Number 10.
Number 10 is keep us in the loop. Tell us what's going on.
Did you get a new contract?
I did. Did your latest sales figures go up?
Right.
Because of that contract?
Yep. Have you made some major changes to your employees? Did you buy some new piece of equipment because the accountant said, "Hey, you got a lot of money left over. You better go invest."
Is there something personal going on in your life that all of a sudden you only have 60 days left to sell, whether it be a lease expiring in your personal life, like you're moving out. Once upon a time we had a psychology practice for sale, and she didn't tell us, but her husband and children moved out of the state.
Oh.
Right. And all of a sudden she was calling us every other day saying, why is my business selling?
She wants to go.
And she was missing her kids. And we're like, why didn't you tell us that? Like, you knew everybody was moving. Again, let's change the price.
Right. Let's get you moving. Let's get you out of here.
Let's get you out of here. And we did, and we eventually did sell it. But, we need to know all this. And finally, the buyers kind of like half this process. Understanding what's going on in the business is essential for us.
Yeah, and understand as the advisor working on your behalf, there's certain confidential information that we're not going to share with the buyer, but we still need to know it because it impacts our ability to be able to get you the deal that you want. So being completely upfront and honest. And, we had a great listing with the guy who had a home services business. And 3 times he came to us and said, "Hey, I got this guy who's a buyer and he's calling me. Can I send him to you?" Which is exactly what should be happening.
Right.
Okay. Because occasionally you get the sellers like, "Well, I'm just going to work this guy on the side over here."
Right.
Don't do that. Okay.
No.
You're under an exclusive right to sell with us. Let us run the person through the process. One of the reasons you hire an agent or advisor is so that you can stay focused on the business and we can do what we do best, which is screen that buyer, take them through the process, get an NDA, get a profile. Let's make sure they're even a right fit for you before you spend any time.
They cut a deal on the side and said, give me 2 months until the broker fee runs out and then I'll sell it on. And time kills all deals.
Yeah, don't do
that buyer goes away or something changes in the world or something changes in the business. You got to remember, we're on the same team here.
That's right. We're all working for the same end.
We're on team sell your business.
Yeah, Team T World.
Team transaction.
Right.
We are on the transaction team, and our goal is very aligned with yours.
Yeah.
And usually, our commission is mostly paid when we sell your business. Yeah. So we want to sell your business. And we want to help you do it. But you just got to keep
us in the loop. We're a trusted advisor for a reason. That means you can tell us everything that's good, everything that's maybe not so good, but don't keep secrets because those are all going to come out in the end.
Yeah.
And secrets never help get the sale done.
Right.
Secrets prevent the sale.
And we could solve issues.
That's right. But we can't solve them if we don't know.
Yep.
You know what my wife likes to say? She says she's telepathic and I'm telepathetic. So the more you tell me, the better. Because if you leave it up to me to guess or try and figure it out on my own, it's probably not going to happen.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right.
So so you know what that brings us to? It's time for a listing of the week.
And a deal of the week.
Sold.
Excellent. Great episode. All you sellers out there, this was a great list of 10 things.
The 10 mistakes you would make to not get the most value of your business once you have it listed.
There you go.
Thanks for joining us here at the Deal Board.
Thank you.
Hey, Andy, do you know what time it is?
What time?
It's time for Deal of the Week.
Ring the bell.
Hi, this is Justin Pines out of the DC, Baltimore North, and Annapolis market. I just had a deal close this week that was 65 days from the time we listed on October 31st until the closing this week. It was an incredible process. The seller found me on LinkedIn, just set up a call through my profile, and 2 calls later, we had an agreement together we felt good about. We actually had to increase the price by $150,000 after my financial review and recognizing there was a lot more value than the seller was giving himself credit for, which can sometimes be the case, and that's part of our role is to uncover that and be able to communicate it. From the get-go, I could tell this was a great business, and the seller, he had moderate expectations, which also helps. So once we got that going, we were fielding multiple inquiries a week. There was a very particular, this was a virtual events and experiences business. And it could be run from anywhere. So that was attractive, obviously, for a lot of buyers. The thing that was important, though, from my perspective, was making sure that those buyers would have the know-how and wherewithal to operate properly, right? This was a digital business. There was a significant tech stack. Their clients were corporate team leaders and HR leaders. So you needed to know the corporate space and how to take care of that, and expand within those places. And also just be savvy digitally, between digital marketing and, bookings and that kind of a thing. So, we were moving forward with 2 buyers, and they were competing a little bit on their offers. This was the week of Thanksgiving, so it made an exciting Thanksgiving holiday. And then the very next week, I was at a networking event. My phone rang, and usually on Tuesday night at 7 p.m., it's a spam call or political or something. But I answered it anyway, and it turned out to be the CEO of this business that was acquiring other event companies or adjacent companies. And he said, I'm going to put an offer that is going to beat the others. And the next day he met the seller, and by Thursday, it was under contract. So we had a 14-day due diligence period, all questions answered, everybody happy, and we closed, right after the new year this week. So pretty incredible from start to finish. And yeah, I mean, it was pretty smooth all the way through, and full of excitement. It really did feel like a roller coaster. So if you want to get in touch with me, my name is Justin Pines. Again, I look after DC and Baltimore and Annapolis. And you can reach me at jpines@tworld.com, or like this seller did, find me on LinkedIn at Justin Pines and set up a call on my profile. Would love to learn about your business and see if I can help. So thank you.
Hey, JT, do you know what time it is?
Money time?
Almost. It's time for Listing of the Week.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Listing of the Week, and I am with Donald Bray here from Transworld Business Advisors of Buffalo. And we love Buffalo. And
go Bills.
Yeah, well, I don't know, go Bills. But yeah, Bills are a very special team. So, Donald, tell us about the deal you just listed.
So we have a new listing. It's a daycare center, kind of a medium-sized daycare center with real estate in one of the suburbs of Buffalo.
Right.
We listed it. We have 7 offers on it.
Right.
Almost immediately, we actually had 7 LOIs on it, down selected, went over list price. We have it listed for $1.25 million, went over list price.
Wow.
The LOI that we're working on right now, trying to get it closed here in the next 40 days. And the seller didn't pick the highest offer. She picked the best buyer that she thought for her business. And it just seems like such a good fit between the seller and buyer. Really happy. I mean, we had a lot of equity companies looking at it as well. I had people, even after I closed the date on the due date, I still had offers coming in.
So daycare is a very popular business. It's a very good industry. Obviously, people going back to work, and the daycares must be busy.
Right, and she had good numbers. She ran her business well. We just did the analysis, came up with the list price. And
how much did it list for?
$1.275.
Right, and how much was the SDE?
It was about $400,000.
Yeah, so about 3 times, right?
3 times, yes.
So that's what we see in the daycare business. Hey, listen, if you want to sell more daycare businesses in the Buffalo area, give Donald a call. What's the best way to get in touch with you?
So my direct number is 716-395-1430 or dbray@tworld.com.
There you go.
Thank you,
all right, go Bills. I'll say it one more time.
Thanks for tuning in to the show today. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends on social media. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on your favorite podcasting app. If you have questions, would like to appear, or have suggestions for topics for the show, Get in contact with us through our website, thedealboardpodcast.com.